there! If you're watching this video, you might be interested in learning how stories can be translated from words on a page into living, breathing images. Today, we'll walk through the basic process of storyboarding. Let's get started. Whether it's spoken, written, or sung, every story starts with words. There are many different ways to tell stories in words: regular prose, the traditional script format, iambic pentameter, haiku. But in this video, we will be using a split script format to tell our story. The split script breaks down the story into audio elements and visual elements. This is a useful format for keeping track of all the different elements you want to bring into your story. In the visuals column, the elements you see are listed. Different labels help us understand what is meant to be depicted. Graphics describes any visual elements that are being imposed on the screen, such as logos or credits. The scene describes the general setting or environment where your story takes place. The set describes the props that exist within the scene, such as furniture, tools, or decorations. In this script, we use the label necessary assets to describe things that are essential to the story. In this case, we need to see a cable car in 3/4 perspective for this shot to work. The actor label describes the actor, of course. This is where we describe what actions people should be doing in the scene and how they should be performing it, and if they need to have any particular look. Next, the motion graphics label. This one is important. It describes how elements should be moving within the scene. Motion graphics can be described in as much detail as you need. In this case, we want our cable car to be gliding gracefully across the frame in an upwards direction. That's the visuals. Now we move over to the audio column. This is where we list all of the elements we hear. Labels like music, voiceover, and sound effect describe what sounds are being made. In the split script, the elements listed in the audio column should line up with their corresponding elements in the visuals column. Basically, you list the audio elements in the order you imagine them being heard. For example, sound effect, creaking cables, is lined up with motion graphics in the visuals column. Cool! Now you've got your script. Next, we move into translating those words into pictures. When making your storyboard, start out by drawing the main subject of your shot. This is what you want your viewer to notice first. Use bold lines to make sure your subject stands out. And don't sweat the details. It's perfectly okay to keep storyboards simple. Once you've drawn your subject, go ahead and add its environment. In this case, we're drawing an outdoor scene in the mountains at night during a snowstorm. Again, it's okay to keep it simple. We're just blocking out the basic shapes. If you find yourself having trouble placing your environment in the right perspective, it can be really helpful to draw a grid in your storyboard. Now we can go in and add the details we need. I'm adding marks for snow, tiny stars, and other cable cars connecting in the background. It's easy to get lost in the details, so remember to limit them to what matters, and keep your main subject bold and bright. Once all your elements are drawn, it's time to start adding directions. Arrows are the most common thing to use. Draw white arrows to indicate directions for the camera. Zooming in, zooming out, panning up and down, that sort of thing. Draw black arrows for directions for moving elements within your shot. For example, a black arrow leading upwards indicates that the cable car should be moving in that direction. Black arrows around the actor's hand indicates that she is waving back and forth. And with that, you have a completed storyboard. This little picture contains almost all the visual information you need to start composing the shot. Once the shot is composed and animated, you're left with a final product that looks like this. Now add in the sound.
Hello there.
Voila! Storyboarding is the process of translating words into pictures and creating one cohesive vision for your story. The vocabulary of storyboarding can get complex, but I hope this video has given you a helpful starting point. Happy drawing!